This has been a very interesting week leading up to this interview, I have to say, because I have a lot to say to you, but I don't know how.
What do you mean?
I think, to be very honest, I've watched, again, yet another career, and not that I'm at the top of this thing, but obviously we watch each other as peers.
Yeah.
And to really look at your growth, I mean, the first time I think I met you was when Akumzi introduced me to you. You guys had an office in Randburg Square.
Yeah, absolutely.
I never knew production houses could exist in Randburg Square.
Yeah.
How does that work?
Well, I don't know. I was just told report to work on Monday at Randburg Square.
Anyway, you guys were producing Spirit Sunday.
Spirit Sunday. That's the first show I ever did.
You don't even look like somebody who would produce Spirit Sunday.
That time I look like...
Yeah, oh, Mfundisi
that. But also I was 19.
Crazy.
Going to 20. So, nehili, my pencil sketchy.
Nice.
It sounds like a lifetime ago.
Well, you know, just like how careers change over time, you have somehow changed over time as well. So from this young 19-year-old, Spirit Sunday producing, or in the team that produces Spirit Sunday, you then head over to what?
Actually, while I was still producing Spirit Sunday, SABC sort of like phased out the show because now we're entering this new era of television with digital coming in and social media. And SABC came to my executive producer at the time, my boss, Shafi Sheikh, to say that this show is very fatigued. I mean, Spirit Sunday is one of those shows that has been there since I was also a child. I remember watching Spirit Sunday back at home at Omo. So they wanted something fresh, but still a multi-faith magazine show. And they asked us to pitch another show that could replace Spirit Sunday. And I was so shocked that my EP at the time, Mr. Shafi Sheikh, asked me to be part of the production team that was going to go pitch this new show called Identity. And I remember feeling like I'm not ready. I felt like I was not ready, and I wanted to ask him so bad, why me? I mean, I've joined people here who've worked with you for a very long time. And like even the way he did it, he called me to the boardroom and was like, you're going home for December. I want you to think about this proposal. He gave me the brief from SABC. And he was like, think about it when you're home. When you get back from Eastern Cape in January, we are going to pitch the show together. I remember all those feelings from varsity thinking, there's no space for me here. I mean, who am I? We did a pretty job.
Well, many of us, and I want to sort of lay it out for people who are watching, because many of us never get to the boardroom to pitch, because that's really where every aspiring producer wants to be.
You want to be
in the boardroom. But here's an opportunity for you to join a team, to not only just join the team, but to watch them do and to be involved in this as well.
I actually had a couple of slides, I actually had a couple of slides
that
I was doing in the pitch. The content and how we're going to get to the research and the research methods and the kind of guests. He let me do it. I still keep in contact with him now to always update him with my life, because he really gave me a shot.
That is the breaking point, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
For any production person, once you're in the room, once you're talking to clients, and once you're actually engaging on the idea, you can actually run your own company.
Absolutely.
Because that's where the key is.
Yeah, and he gave me confidence. There is nothing every one of us wants more than feeling like we are being heard and someone values our opinion. And for me, he showed me that. He showed me that he values me as a creative. I felt like he believes that executives at SABC can listen to me and I can get him this contract. I mean, it was a gamble. They are telling you, Wuti, your show is being phased out, but we are giving you another chance to pitch another show. And here you are taking a 19-year-old, 20-year-old at the time.
You walk in, you do Spirit Sunday. Are there heartbreak moments? Are you passionate about what you're doing?
At Spirit Sunday, I'm really trying to find my feet, and also I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful to be in. I'm very grateful to find myself in this space. And I am really, at Spirit Sunday, I'm really trying to figure out my voice and my stand at the time, because I realized quite early in my career that no one graduates you in this industry. And I realized quite early that I don't have a big surname or like a social
Like currency.
Like currency.
Yeah.
The only thing that's going to separate me from the rest is, or for people to notice me, is for me to work hard.
Do producers in this country, in this industry, have to work on being noticed and known?
Definitely. It's what I preach. I think you came to my seminar, Behind the Scenes with Black Rose. I say that to all the creatives, producers especially, that we think that branding is only for people who are in front of the camera. Like we come from a culture where we're supposed to be desperate all the time. Like when you come into the industry as a creative, you are made to feel like you're desperate begging. And like this, everything is an opportunity. You should be compensated well. You should not have a say in the boardroom. You should not take control of the fact that you are a producer. They want to give you that power when it suits them. So when they want you to pull a rat out of a hat, they will give you all the power on some. You are the producer of the show, make it work. But when you really want to find out what's happening with the budget, if we were given this money by a broadcaster and it was for whatever, why don't I have it? Why do I have it working?
Producers in the sense should have budgets, but I think coming from these big conglomerates where there's 5 people that come before the producer, there's executive producer, there's all these people that come before you, and you know you're called, you're given the title content producer.
I've never been here for that. I make it, and this is something I say even when I'm invited to do guest lectures in these universities. I always say that you have to be so sure about who you are. Like in an interview, when I get to an interview, when I was interviewed by Eben Brew, they will do their interviews, ask me all the questions. I will also ask them questions. What are the values of the company? Where are you guys going?
Nice.
What is the creative process for me as a producer?
It's also about you.
Yes, it's definitely about me. And I've been so fortunate that like after I left Crazy a couple of years ago, I've never been like a person who applies for a job. Like jobs have always come to me.
Yeah, amazing.
So if there is that, then
can I tell
clearly
you something? Once you are independent in that thinking, once you know that you too are important in that conversation, things change, you make the money.
Immediately. They change immediately. Because the thing is, there comes a point in your life as a creative where, in this industry, where you will have to say, this is my worth. Because no one is going to come to you and say, Sive, you've done real talk, you've done training essay, therefore, now your rate is this.
When I was at your seminar, I heard Melody say something which was quite...
Melody is my mentor.
She's brilliant, right? She's amazing. And I've always looked up to her. I've never really spoken to her because, you know, when you look up to someone, you kind of like are shy, you respect them and their space. But watching her and listening to her on the day where you held, you know, your seminar, I was very alarmed at how late she got to know her strength.
Yeah.
You see the strength that you talk of now?
Yeah.
Like, she built that ETV show. She went in.
Yeah.
And how many other shows has she gone in?
Perfect Wedding, all the shows. Yeah,
for
absolutely.
the things. So, once you know that, how do you then use it? Like you say, you've never... After that realization, it's kind of like you don't even send out CVs. You get called for these things. Yeah, you get called.
First of all, it is working hard. Like, I always say this, you cannot have a say in the boardroom if you don't have results. If I get another job now, of which I don't need another job, please don't offer me jobs. Please don't offer me jobs. I come with my numbers from Crazy. I say, I used to produce Crazy.
Yeah.
These are the numbers that I achieved within these seasons. Then I
so
went
these
to
numbers
Real
are
Talk.
ARs, these are audience ratings.
Absolutely. And all the things that I've done there. And I say, then I did Real Talk, the season that won SAFTAs. Then I went to Training Essay. And these are the numbers that validate you as a producer and the things that you can do.
Let's go through the shows you've done. Spirit Sunday, Identity, Crazy, Real Talk,
Training
Essay,
and then
WTF. These are big shows.
Quite big shows, yeah?
Are we profitable?
That's another thing. And I think one of the things that just
6
made me...
6 big shows.
Yeah.
Spirit Sunday.
At the end of the day, can you really walk into a broadcaster and say, I've done 6 shows, give me a show? As Sive, as a producer.
Well, you can and you can't.
Exactly. You can and you can't.
There
are so many things that can allow you to say yes, but there's so many things that can allow
Because
Yeah.
what I've known over like this series of interviews is that, we either have a sense of entitlement or we don't.
Yes.
That's either knowing who you are and what you've done, which can kind of cripple your conversation, meaning that when you walk in, you don't just barge in and say, well, this is who I am, this is what I've done.
Absolutely.
There's still an amount of work that's needed. And, like selling and just convincing and, complying. Because once you run a business, it's different to running a show.
Yeah.
But also, on the other side, there's the kind of industry that we all wish for, where an industry can actually turn around and say, but what's she doing now?
Exactly.
Can we not bring her into maybe changing the next few years in broadcast? How can we do that? Maybe she needs to start her own production house. Maybe she needs to, because you get in America and everywhere else in the world, not everywhere else, but main industries, you get producers with agencies or that have agencies that really look out for them. You get unions. We don't have anyone. We're kind of independent.
We have none of that.
We're indie.
That's why I insist. That's why I insist on making noise about everything that I've done. If
I'm with you.
When I produced for the awards, everyone knew that I produced for the awards.
Amazing.
When those credits rolled and show producer Sive, everyone needs to know that, because when I go look for a job or when I go want a collaboration with someone or when I say legend, let's do something, I need to be able to say, Kuti, you know that I produced for the awards, right?
It almost sounds like how you say it is like, I think you're better than me because I have to think about what I've done. Like it's almost just like in the can with you.
You have to know, because inside production companies, sometimes you feel this culture of not people don't want to tell you how good you are or how well you're doing, because you will get a big head and you will ask for more money or you will be more vocal. It's a thing. And I hope you don't do it. I hope.
I'm sure
I hope you don't do it. Yeah. But there's that culture of like suppressing people and not giving props to the people who are actually doing the show. I had a conversation with my bosses the other day about how I treat my team. I don't care if you are a production assistant or you are my content researcher. To me, you are a professional. There is no such a thing as this show is Sive's show because she's the producer, or this show is Dumi's show because she's the host. This show is all of us. As long as you get a credit there, that show is yours. And you need to respect that credit.
Sure.
A credit is sacred. Our art is sacred to us. Our creativity, our creative energy, we do so much to protect it.
Yeah.
We do so much to stimulate it.
Yeah.
We do so much to not just feel 28 minutes of TV. I hate filling up time. I hate feeling like, oh my gosh, what do we do next? Every frame needs to be produced. Every interview needs to be produced. Every feature, every segment up until 4800. Intentional TV.
Yeah.
It has to be intentional.
The last time I had a conversation so fired up was with Akumzi.
Yeah.
And, he was like, you have the country's attention for half an hour. How are you not taking this seriously? Everyone, I think, around him wouldn't understand it really, because it didn't land. And I was a year in, it landed. It landed, and I was like, God damn. So that means, I used to hear the live numbers. They used to reach about 8 million.
Yeah.
8 million, 9 million. I'm like, you have 9 million people watching what you're actually curating? What an opportunity.
And I think I'm gonna be a bit controversial when you mention those kind of numbers.
Yeah.
Sometimes we don't take this thing so serious, and we don't really have conversations, and we are not intentional with our content and what we do. We don't take it that much seriously, and ask ourselves, Guti, because SABC One, those are numbers waiting for you. You literally have to just move in and settle down.
Yeah.
But does that mean your show is really doing well? Does that mean the show is really...
Yeah, because those numbers are kind of like, some people don't have a choice.
They are there. I mean, at home...
Which is why if you look at it now, some of the Friday numbers are really dismal. Because that audience, in fact, that number has grown in terms of people who have TV sets, who are able to watch, but the number's gone down.
Yeah, because we cannot take our viewers for granted anymore. Because remember, every one of us now is a content curator. We've got social media. People who are accountants and doctors curate their own social media accounts. They know what looks good. They know what sounds good. They know relevance. They know proximity. And these are the things that I always talk about all the time. Good. As producers, we need to be so intentional. Good. You see so many stories that end up on TV and you're like, who are you talking to?
How did this end up?
And proximity, relevance. Who are you talking to? Who wants to hear this? What are you saying? What is the therefore? There's a lot of just like randomness on TV.